Wow, discovery. Brilliant hist. How the U.S. just stolen Venezuela and nobody noticed. Wow. What is interesting? Why everyone is celebrating for the new year and watch firework? The largest asset transfer in modern history just happened. In January 3rd, 2026, Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro captures the new court justice democratically restored. A win for the freedom is what you are not telling. 303 billion barrel, 303 billion barrel oil just changed hand. It's not 303 billion barrel, the largest proven oil reserve on the planet. Earth suddenly has new management. We're talking about 1.7 trillion in minor wealthy was locked away, now accessible about $60 60 billion in Chinese debt. 60 billion in Chinese debt is about to be the restructures penny dollars. So isn't the rescue mission, it's the big corporate acquisition. This is a big corporate acquisition you have never heard about. I think this is about bringing democratic to the Venezuela. You're reading the wrong story because it's about oil benefit. Venezuela so something how because those sold those oil to the China, and the middle broker is the Russia. To blow your mind, Venezuela doesn't just have some oil. Venezuela have a more proven reserve, oil reserve than the Saudi Arabia, and more than the Iran, more than the Middle East country. So Venezuela 303 billion barrel. Saudi is 267 billion barrel. That is 36 billion barrel advantage. So put this perspective. Venezuela hold about but why I don't understand why Venezuela people living suffer. I don't know why. And the Venezuela hold 18.2% of the entire world oil reserve. So United States with all the share. I think the Russia involved with this, So United States would share the revolution energy's independence talk. So 46.4 billion barrel Venezuela reserve, 6.6 times largest than American entirely supplier. So sink for the second. So this is some falling state. January 3rd, stopping the stranded. Most of this reserve concentrate in something called to the Orunowoku Bear. Oruno 一带一路 bear, one row. One row, one bear. Okay, this is where things absolutely insane. So U.S. geopolitical surveyor estimate would 530 billion barrels of technologies recovered oil is one geopolitical formation. So this is more than double. So Saudi Arabia entirely proven reserve is one place. But there is a catch. This is critical. Venezuela need to be captured, not just sanctioned. The crew is heavy, extra heavy. the difficult extract. So requires specialized upgrading. Only the handful refinery in the world can actually process. So where are the loads of refinery? The Gulf Coast and the United States. See what is happening here. Venezuela has the oil and American has the only refinery can turn into the money. So it isn't just about the seize the reserve. And this is about the control the only supply chain can monetize them. So Venezuela had the treasures, American had the key. Now American has both. But wait, because oil is just the beginning of this story. The problem is who gonna benefit this problem, okay? So Orenco mining arc is covered about, oh my God, 111,000 kilometers, that's 12% of Venezuela entire territory. Oh, mining arc is covered, wow. 111,000 kilometers is 12% of the Venezuela entirely, so territory. And underneath almost absorbs gold and 7,000 tons of the current price. Is looking for about $200. No, 200 billion. Okay, sorry, 200 billion in gold value alone. So let's, if you don't know what a colon, there is why you should care. The critical semiconductor manufacturer, every phone in the pocket have laptop. So every server run internet need coltan. So coltan Venezuela have estimate 100 billion worth. So coltan. So that's why rare earth element. So by the 300,000 megatons, these are not luxury goods. These are the building block of the electric vehicle. The wind turbine and the military guidance system is advanced electronics. China currently controls 80% of global rare earth process. So Venezuela just become the alternative supply chain. It's all together, and you are looking for 2 trillions in the miners' wealth. So on. So Venezuela oil bigger than Saudi. Estimate haven't been verified by the Western auditor since 2009. So 17 years information gap, which means one of the two things is true. Either Venezuela has been overstating this is number of years, so which just means the real value is lower. Still massive, Venezuela has been sitting on the largest undeveloped minor deposit in the Western Hemisphere, unable to monetize because of sanction, corruption, and incompetence. So now incompetence is about to correct by the company with systematic survey technology, mining corporation with extraction expertise, financial engineering, specialized converting the dirt into the dividend. So that's who is really losing here, because Venezuela doesn't just have asset. Venezuela have a massive liability. So China extend 67 billion to the Venezuela between 2007 and 2020 to something called to the oil and loan program. Oil loan program. The deal was simple. So China then the cash and to the Venezuela shipped oil, and everyone win, except the Venezuela collapsed at the peak, and the Venezuela was shipping about 525,000 barrels per day to the China. You see, 500,000 barrels per day China. So 150,000 barrels per day China already returned down 40 billion in losing, and still have 50 to 60 billion outstanding, and there is a problem. On January 3rd, the oil shipment got cut off because U.S. company now control PDVSA. PDVSA, Venezuela State Oil Company, is PDVSA, Venezuela Oil Company. China choice is the binary, except 20 to 30 cents on the dollar in the U.S. orchestrated debt reconstruct, try to seize the Venezuela asset in the international court, and the trigger asset freeze under the U.S. sanction, either way Chinese state. So bank about to recognize another 35 to 42 billion lost. But a 50% annual, and lending, and it isn't just content about Venezuela. This is contingents Ecuador, China 18 billion, Argentina 12 billion. So Venezuela default. Send a message to every one Belt One Road borrower. If default, Washington seize your asset. So not the Beijing or Russia position is smaller, but equally devastating. This is extent 6.5 billion, and got a joint venture stake for the Venezuela operation. So after January, the U.S. Treasury will force them to divest a fire sale to price and face full sanction. So Russia is 1.88 billion exposure will be written off, but the strategy's loss is far greater. Venezuela was Russia's only energy foothold in the Western Hemisphere. Now it's gone. So why China lose about 40 billion and Russia lose about strategy? The position two American companies have been waiting for the 17 years. This exact moment, ExxonMobil, Chevron, and their strategies couldn't be more different. Rewind 2007. So Hugo Chavez nationalized the Venezuela oil sector. So Exxon is a massive synergies project get the seats. Exxon is don't walk away quietly, and the fire arbitration claiming demand 14.7 billion compensation in 2014. So they are awarded about 1.6 billion. That's 10%. What the claim, but the Exxon didn't accept. They maintain arbitrations claim. They keep the legal machinery running. And the way the January 3rd, 2026. This way is over, so we recoup about 1.6 trillion plus interest from the frozen account. Bid with the rehabilitation. So contract was about 45 or 6 billion over the next decades. They control 30% or 40% of the new joint ventures. The Technique Service Agreement Exxon got kicked out 2007. They are working back to the 2026 with this contract. And the U.S. Treasury backing their position, but the Chevron played a completely different game. When Chavez demanded a new term 2007, Chevron accept why Exxon fought. Chevron negotiate why competitor free. So Chevron stayed, and they maintain 800 employees on the ground. They keep infrastructure, so they accept the license to operate through the sanction. And here's why the matter. The Chevron has the existing presence relationship and institutional knowledge of the Venezuela. So infrastructure is more important. PDVSA is old Chevron and 3.5 billion operation debt. The debt is about to get paid, not in cash. However, by its production sharing agreement, Chevron was the survivor, and the survivor just become the most valuable asset. So here is question everyone should be asking: if Venezuela have 303 billion barrels, so 2 trillion minor JPEG, if 303 billion barrel and get the put back into the production, shouldn't oil price collapse? Shouldn't we see the panic in the energy market? So January 3rd, 2026, Brent crude closed about the Brent and crude oil closed about the 71.40% parallel. So the trap 1.2% of the day. So let me show you about global spare capacity side 5.8 billion barrels per day. So now that 6% of total demand is the highest spare capacity. Since 2015, Saudi Arabia alone could replace the Venezuela entirely. Plus, captures production 3 times over. The market already knew Venezuela was offline, so the market already placed price disruption. Captures doesn't remove supply the path, so there is a realistic timeline, 18 or 36 months. First increment barrel, so Venezuela was producing about 740,000 barrels per day before capture giving back, so 1.5 billion barrels per day. So so security stabilization replaced management asset damages. A month 7 or 12 revival 200,000 barrels per day. So this is just turning back how 13 through the 24 restocked 500,000 500 5,000 500 was 50 0.5 billion barrel, so on 500,000 barrel 5,100 barrel per day. So worker and the diluent import. Diluent is key. Diluent is key. Naphtha is chemical. Is mixed heavy crude to the pipeline. 2020 U.S. ban for the diluent export. Key shot a collapse Venezuela production. So lowest level since 1930s left ban. So import diluent production jump. So here's where the story get really interesting. So this is starting the 2017. August 2017 executive order prohibit PDVSA from accessing the U.S. financial market. Venezuela production dropped 50%. And the PDVSA is designed to terrorist entities 7 billion in the asset frozen production, so on. So in 2019, secondary sanction on shipping vessel touching Venezuela crew gathers blacklist from U.S. port. Production dropped about 25%. So Dilawan export bomb and kill shop collapsed 30%. Look at the pattern. Each sanction target specific operation. Large-scale land diluent and 2020 diluent ban wasn't. It was such heavy, so of the production, the Venezuela oil production is the, however, is the 202 billion barrel per day by 2020, and 527,000 barrel per day. That's 82% collapse, so on. So engineering document you don't buy an oil field at peak production. You buy when it is distressed, and the seller that's desperate when the price is fraction. So on. So 2,000 production and 2.9 billion barrel per day. The leadership is no say Venezuela 2026 production. Ready for transition. This is strategies. 20 years U.S. administrations, Republican and Democratic sanction escalated under the Trump. This is remain under the Biden. They remain under the Biden. The captures happen next. Bipartisan consistency 2 decades. So why? Because the asset was always target and the timeline always long and outcome. Corporate profit first, energy market shift permanently. Venezuela need 78 to 95 billion rehabilitation of capital over the next decade. So U.S. service company will capture 60% or 70% of spend. So speculative contract, this is infrastructure deal with back of the oil run. Venezuela has 300,000 metric tons of the rare earth element. So China controls about 8% global process. So U.S. has been trying to build alternative supply chain for a decade. Venezuela is a shortcut. If the U.S. bring the Venezuela rare earth production online by 2028 or 2030, fundamental strategies balance critical miners. So China 40 billion loss explained. So impact electric vehicle supply chain, defense manufacture, renewable energies infrastructures, semiconductor production. Third, gold liquidations. So Venezuela hold about 150 and 200 tons of gold reserve. At the Bank of England, another 80 tons of the Caracas, the U.S. treasuries will be seized, liquidate about 50 or 70 tons per year, finance reconstruction costs. Normally that would be the crash price, but watching the national gold get seized. So think about it. If Venezuela gold isn't safe, where is it expect central bank buying the global south gold? Doesn't crash, so gold doesn't move. Gold grinds higher, structures zoom out because it's bigger than Venezuela. The witness is master class in the 21st century resource acquisition. So you don't invent inventions. Inventions is expensive and unpopular, but a required occupation sanction degrade. Let the target collapse under its own weight, then step in the manager technique partner. The asset transfer legally through the debt reconstruct joint venture agreement. Iraq 2003 was gold model, military invention, occupation, sergeants 2 trillion spend minimum resource, extractions strategy value. Venezuela 2026 is now modeled by initial strangulation sanction. So regime change without the invention, asset acquisition through the bankruptcy. Strategy succeeds. Here's uncomfortable truth is it work. China lost 40 billion, Russia's lost strategist position, Western bond holder take the haircut, but the U.S. energy company get a concession. U.S. service company get the cost of U.S. Treasury minimum few billion in reconstructions finance offset by the liquidate. So the return control 303 billion barrel, 2 trillion in the minery, and the Venezuela isn't unique. Venezuela is template of any nation with significant natural resource, higher external debt, geopolitical misalignment. Is now candidate to Iran 28 billion barrel under the sanction. Since 1979, Bolivia, large leading reserve, South American Chinese mining partnership